And welcome to Spit to the Beat podcast. I'm your host, Stacey, aka Beat Unstoppable per year. And today I have a very special guest in my virtual studio today. I will bring him on in a minute, but I just want to touch bases with you all about my show. This is my first virtual show, and I'm making history today. But also, you can catch me if you pay attention to the banner at the bottom of the screen. It said, to like to be my guest, you can catch me at spittothebeat.com or give me a call at 901-341-6777. And also catch my latest episodes of Spit to the Beat podcast at www.spittothebeat.com. Now, without further ado, bringing in this young man, he's multi-talent. He's what can I can't put just one word on him. He's in a position he can do a lot of things in the music industry, from being a promoter, show host, musician, drum player, and I didn't even know DJing. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring him on in, Mr. Cody Little.
That's right. That's right.
Welcome,
That's
welcome,
right.
welcome to the show, man.
That's right.
You're my first guest on
Man,
my
we making
virtual.
history.
Yeah, we're making history today, bro. Good. How you doing today?
I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. Adjusting to this hot weather we getting, but I'm cool.
Well, you know how Memphis is, bipolar. The weather just come on in. We don't get no transition. It just bam,
It
there's
just hit you
summer.
quick. It just hit you quick. I'm ready for it. I need it.
Yeah. I am ready too. I'm ready for a little heat, but I really would like to get to a beach somewhere and
You
put my
so
feet in
crazy.
the
Ooh
sand.
wee.
Yeah,
Ooh Lord, the ocean. The ocean would just that would just do it for me right now.
yeah,
Ooh
exactly,
wee.
exactly. Let's talk a little bit about you, man. That's why you on the show. The,
Oh
the
my
show
God.
is all about the music industry, and you are definitely
All
involved in the
right.
music industry all over the
Yeah.
place. So let's
Yeah.
tell my audience a little bit about Cody Little.
Cody Little. I have been in music. I'm 32, so I have been in music
Hey, you
since I
actually got a
was.
birthday coming up, right?
That's right, baby. May 15th. Let's
Right,
go. Look, if
right.
y'all want to get me something, my Cash App works. Okay, just give me some money.
Put it out there.
Uh, Cody M. Little. But I've been in music my entire life. I've been in music maybe since I was maybe like 4. My dad's a pastor. So I grew up in a in a Baptist church where my dad believed in like full control of like the business of church. He believed in like, hey, the more I can keep in house, the more I know I'm gonna have every Sunday. So my older brother, he's 7 years older than me. He grew up playing organ at our church because my dad
Okay.
got tired of finding different organ players. So he just bought my brother lessons, and my brother just was naturally gifted. He got good fast. I was actually meant to be singing. My parents wanted me to sing. It just wasn't for me, and I just gravitated towards drums when I was about 4. So drums has been my life. I grew up playing drums in church, and then I started playing outside of church for money around the age of like 13. And then from 13, I went to Whitehaven High School where they heavily promote higher education. So
Okay.
I knew early I was going to college. I just didn't know where I wanted to go. And then my friends told me about this school named Berkeley College of Music. So I chose to go to Berkeley College of Music, and
Where is that located?
that's in Boston, Massachusetts. I
Okay.
went because that's the same school Quincy Jones went to. That's the same school John Mayer went to. Like a lot of producers I was into because I knew that I wanted to do more than just beat the drums. But I wanted to go somewhere where my gift could be expounded upon, and I wouldn't be seen as different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Berkeley. I studied music business because at the time I was just infatuated. I mean, infatuated with the mind of Quincy Jones. I thought the way this brother navigated music deals was just as fascinating as the actual like musical compositions he made.
Right.
Um, a lot of people don't know that Quincy Jones is the reason that the Fresh Prince of Bel Air is even a thing. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
right, right.
Like more than just a musician. He started to be known as a man that was known for using his mind. And I was like, well, if he went to Berkeley, I'm gonna go there. So I went there, I played the drums, I learned business. I left there, I moved straight to California, where I was trying to get a job for Sony. I was trying to work for either Sony or Universal. Um, that didn't work out.
Hey, you picked a big icon to really to
Oh yeah.
inspire
Oh
you, man.
yeah. Oh
Quincy
yeah.
Jones, yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
huge.
Great. I wanted somebody that was great. That was
Definitely.
like you cannot deny, like, you know how it is, like, when we like sports, and people can argue with you someone's resume because of their like personal preferences.
Yeah,
But with music and production, you can't really do that. With Quincy Jones, he was so great that, like, even if you weren't a fan of his music, you could not deny the impact of his creativity
we
on the
create
world.
we definitely know that Quincy was a goat.
The one and only. That's why I be
A
like,
goat.
now,
Yeah.
see, this the thing. This the thing. I like what I learned from going to a place like Berkeley is, when you start meeting all these people from different places, different countries, and all this stuff, they
Hmm.
value different parts of music differently than we do. So somebody that we would think culturally is like the top of the mountain,
Yeah.
they like I got
They
friends right
on
now.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, that right. Like for us, for a lot of black people, black men especially, we love us some Michael Jackson.
Right.
Love us some Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
I went to a place, man, where people would straight up argue, like, I mean, Michael Jackson's okay, but he ain't the Beatles. Like, what? Like, but
Really?
they would be dead. Oh, what, they dead serious? They're dead
Wow.
serious. What? I mean, they can only name you maybe 4 songs. But
Of
I
the
like
Beatles.
that about music. No, oh, Michael Jackson. They can
Oh,
only
okay.
tell you, like, I only know this, and he ain't the Beatles.
Man, where they been sleeping on a rock somewhere?
Well, you know what it is. That's how I felt. Like, I mean, you must not go outside or go to the store or listen to the radio at all.
Right.
But now music is just that big of a conversation for people to have around the world, where you can have a preference, like, oh, somebody as great as that just isn't for me.
Right.
That's why I like it.
So, with you being inspired by Quincy Jones and others, what would you say to upcoming musicians who are trying to break their, make their mark in the field? What would you say to them as a word of encouragement?
Um, um, Explore your fears, man.
Mm,
That changed my life. The idea of just exploring my fears instead of letting my fears dictate to me what I do and do not do with my life. Some of the things that I was afraid of in music seemed so big to me. Um, and it's like I would have these visions of cool things, cool ideas, cool creative things, and I would tell myself instantly, yeah, but that's not for me, I'm just a drummer. Yeah, that's not for me, I'm just a dude from Memphis. Yeah, somebody else could do that great thing, but not me.
yeah,
So I would tell people to explore the things that make you afraid, because that could be the thing that increases your palate to be and become new things. I got into, you mentioned earlier about my hosting. I started hosting because I got on the radio in like 20, I want to say 2012. I started getting into being a radio personality.
okay.
Never thought about doing it in my life. Now, I never
Because we're gonna
thought
talk
about it in
about
my
this
life.
DJ thing. I didn't know you was
Yeah,
doing either.
it's gonna come. I'm telling you, a lot of the things come from this same place. I
Right.
never, I never thought about it, and I was in Boston, cold, going through depression, and a friend of mine was saying, "Hey, bro," just out of nowhere, he was like, "Hey, bro, you funny as hell, man. You ever thought about being on the radio?" And I was like, "No, I had never thought about being on the radio." And then when I thought about it, it scared me. I was like, not that, like I said, that's not for me. I can't do that. I shouldn't do that. I'm a drummer. I play the drums. That's what I can do.
Yeah.
Um, and it sounds a little weird, but truthfully, what happened was, I remember like it was yesterday. I was watching an episode of Family Guy, while I was sitting at home, just getting introduced to Jack Daniels, and and
Okay.
and I'll never forget this. There's an episode of Family Guy where the black character Cleveland, he has they did like a spinoff little skit on the show where he did a like one of those basement radio broadcasts like they used to
Okay.
do back in the day with like a turntable and stuff. And it just hit me right there. I was like, man, they used to do that. People used to be in their basement with turntables and a microphone, and they would broadcast on their local stations. And that was in the 70s.
Right,
I
right.
was like, man, we in the 21st century now. I was like, man, I bet with a laptop, you could probably just broadcast.
Can you imagine if you were able to take something from the present back to the
Oh
past?
my God. Oh my God. I would be a
You will
gabajillionaire.
be the man.
I would be a gabajillionaire. Straight up. I would be a oh
Right.
Lord. But
We
that
all would be.
that one thought sent me down the path. And in a week I had my own radio show. I just started Googling stuff, and I went from all I do is play the drums, all I am is this, to all right, I'm doing something else now.
Yeah.
Like, and this is kind of fun. It's fun. Um, and I've kind of lived a lot of my life like that. I take wise counsel from the people around me. I feel like I got good discernment of the people around me, and when people around me say, "Hey, Cody, you should consider blank," or "Have you ever thought about trying blank?" or you know what, man, I can see you in this space. What do you think about that? When they say that to me, instead of running from it like I used to do when I was a child, instead of leading with rejection, I
Hmm.
lead with that could be something to that. You know, like
Okay.
you might be
Okay.
on to something.
You don't ever feel overwhelmed with
Uh,
all the things that's coming your way?
yeah, I do. I feel overwhelmed a lot, but so you know what I'm saying. So,
Just
what
go ahead and
I
do it. Huh?
mean, wait, this is the thing. This is the thing. I just believe that it doesn't matter what excuse you justify stopping. Like whether you're overwhelmed, you just don't feel like doing it. It's raining outside. Your mic doesn't work. Your computer's janky. Whatever excuse that you use to or to not do a thing, just know that that excuse didn't have any bearing on the actual choice that you made. At the end of it, you made a choice.
Hmm.
So even I'm a guy that takes on. I mean, I will say this: I do take on a little much. Like my plate is full often,
Right.
but but I'm gonna eat off that bad boy. Like I choose to work hard. Like I
Yeah.
don't let the
Yeah.
fact that it's a lot and it's overwhelming make me stop. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I like the fact that I feel like I'm pushing through the wall.
I like that about you, man. You not only you're all over and everywhere, but you do it with precision and you do it with
Oh
excellence.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
You do your thing, man, and that's what I
Oh
love
yeah.
about you, man.
I want to
Yeah.
be seen as great. I want to be seen as great.
There
Like
you go.
I don't want to be seen as another young man that's out here trying. I think that the vision that God has placed on me to do the things that I genuinely just enjoy doing, the things that I genuinely just enjoy creating to give to people. Um, I don't think that they're just cool ideas. I think that they really bear fruit. I think that somebody can come to something that I'm doing and they're gonna feel better, do better, be better, act better.
Yeah. You got that
Hell,
type of energy, man.
I'm trying to be on that. I want to be great.
That's
I want
hey,
to be great.
want to be great, and don't let nobody stop you from being great.
Oh yeah, they can't. But see, that goes into what I was saying. People are gonna try whether you try to be great or not.
Right.
People are gonna try to stop you whether you start or not. They're gonna try. If you let them, it's still a choice you made.
Yeah.
If you just don't do it and you blame them for not doing it, that's a decision that you made. It's not about the why. One of the most inspirational thoughts that a gentleman gave me
Okay.
was man, slaves learned how to read and write,
Hmm.
and then they bought their own freedom, and then they went on to like cultivate successful lives. A lot of them really achieved that. Um, but we talk about having anxiety because we just don't feel like getting out of the bed in the morning.
Right. Right. Lazy.
And we come from a people where their anxiety was, if I get out of the bed and don't do what I was commanded to do, not only could I die, but my loved ones could die as well. That's
Mm-hmm.
anxiety.
Yeah.
That's a reason to go along to get along. That is a reason.
Right.
But just not feeling like it,
Yeah.
just not feeling like you just
Yeah.
don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I gotta add, we put a lot of stock into the idea of what we do and don't want to do. And even that is a wall that we gotta push through.
That's that preaching side of you coming at your dad,
It
ain't
is. It is. It is.
it? I
It
can
is.
tell. I can tell.
It is.
So
It
what you
is.
got? What you got next? What you got going on in the
Um,
workings, man?
I am. I'm working on a lot of things. I'm working on a project with several artists
Mm-hmm.
coming up. Most people need me to just kind of like bring a lot of their how can I say this, like their live show ideas to life. So
Okay.
when artists want to do a show in front of an audience,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what experience level they are or have been, they call me because to my point earlier from being just like enamored with Quincy Jones, a lot of people just trust my eye for quality,
Mm-hmm.
for artistic quality.
Okay.
So one of the things that I do primarily is just help artists with their projects. So I got, man, I'm helping an artist right now finish an album. I produce albums for a few people. It's not something that I do often, but like for a very small amount of people, like I'll come in with their musical projects. So
Mm-hmm.
I got a guy that I'm working with right now by the name of Deron Payne, coming out with a project at the end of the year that I've been working on for a while. I think it's coming out in like November. I got a live show September 13th that I'm pulling together for a soul artist in Memphis, Tennessee. So any of you listeners that like live music and you like soul music, you need to come to this so you can be truly blessed.
Okay.
Um, I have a show. My main thing is this: my brand Black Love. I do a
Black
show called
love.
Black Love Live. I don't know when I'm gonna do that. I'm planning to do it in October, but if I don't, I'm definitely gonna do it in February. But if I can do it in October, I want your listeners to come to that so they
For
can
sure.
understand that I am the man.
You are. Let's talk about
uh,
some of these abilities that you have, man. You DJing,
yeah,
drama,
DJing is crazy.
music, running a band.
Yeah.
What else? I know I'm missing about 10 other things.
Nah, I mean a lot. You know what it is. You know what it is. I'm a YouTube University guy, man. I
Hey,
believe in
I joined
whatever
the
I
club
want to
too.
learn how to see.
Yeah,
You
you know,
know the power. You
the
know the
power of
power
YouTube
of free
University.
education. You know what? I just look at it like this. Hell, we pay our electric bill every month. We might as well use it. We might as well use
Exactly.
it to learn something.
Exactly.
A lot of a lot of the skills I've acquired really just come from curiosity, and then the door just being open to use them for pay. DJing, I start. So I mentor. So another thing that I do is I mentor young adults, 18 to 25, and a lot of the young men I mentor, I would tell them, every man should be working towards learning at least two new things a year,
Okay,
at least.
that's good. Yeah.
Whether that is something that they can do physically with their hands or their body, or just information. So I grew up really insecure in the fact that I felt like all I could do was one thing, which was play the drums. That was just all I knew how to do. So I started saying, I'm gonna learn how to do new things with my hands. So when the pandemic hit, I called a friend of mine. I said, man, I got these boys. I tell them about learning new stuff. I got to figure out what I want to learn.
Hmm.
And my friend is one of the premier DJs in Memphis, and he said, "Hey, bro, you ever thought about DJing?" And I was like,
I think if anybody ever come to you again,
"Sure,
talking about, hey, can you think about this? You gonna be like, what?
yeah."
Let's do it.
But you know what? But if you live your life like that, it's no telling the type of doors that are open for you. If somebody walked up to you right now and just said, "Hey, I know this is random, but you ever thought about doing some electrician work?" And you would be like, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I do. I drive trucks.
Mm.
But he say, man, I can show you in a day. I just need a little help. And then you do it, and then you like it, and then he pays you. That's like the last driving force of inspiration right there.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
like you
yeah.
learn something new and then somebody gives you a reward for it that you find to be useful, you like, you know what, there is something to this. So with DJing, my friend gave me one lesson. It was hard, it was brutal, I got my butt kicked. But that day, I got my butt kicked so bad that I was like, okay, this is not for me to do publicly, but I'll do it on my own time when I had a time. And someone someone saw me practicing at his home on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, and they booked me right then. They said, "Hey, I didn't know you DJ. I'm looking for a DJ for my class reunion. It's the end of the year. It's at the end of the year." I said, "Man, I can't do that. I don't do that. I'm not a DJ. I'm just learning." He said, "No, bro, we want you." He
Wow.
used to just to go back to what we talked about earlier. He used to listen to my podcast
Okay.
from 2013. He's just one of my friends that I met during that season of my life. And so full circle during the pandemic, just something I'm just learning just to be able to do something that's in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, man, I want to book you. I remember you being this host and you were a great host. You mixed the DJing with that, man. You gonna turn the party out. And I'm like, I'm leading with rejection. I'm
That
like,
light go on.
nah. I'm like, nah, man, I
Okay.
can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to mess your party up, man. Nah, nah, nah. I'm leading with rejection. And just having, like I said, having that good tribe in your life, he wouldn't let me. He was like, no, we want you.
He
We
was
want you.
persistent with you.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. At the time, it was like March, and his class reunion was in December. I said, you know what? I can work for a couple of months to be decent enough to do this gig. How about you pay me this and make sure I have a room because it wasn't in Memphis, it was out of town. So just make sure I'm taken care of and I'll just do it. And he said, okay. I called the guy that gave me my first DJ lesson. He gave me equipment. He gave me a computer. He gave me music. He gave me no excuse not to do it. He said, bro, you got to do it. Like, just do it. So I did. I worked for that thing for months. God is just so good. What ended up happening was before that gig came, some of my other friends started seeing me DJ online, and they started saying, "Nah, bro, I want you to DJ." For me, my best friend is she is a principal at a school, so
Okay.
she was like, "Bro, I want you to come DJ at the school." And I'm like, I did the same thing. I led with rejection. I was like, "Nah, I don't really, I don't do that. I'm just learning." She like, "Bro, come DJ at this school. They gonna pay you. Come make this money. It's a pandemic. You need some money." I said, You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Right.
You're right." And I just gotta say this. I just gotta throw this out there so
Go
people can
ahead.
understand how I rock. A lot of my brothers gonna feel me on this, right? I like the kind of women that like nice things.
Mm.
If you like the kind of women that like nice things, you might need to go get you some money.
Right. Right.
So because I like the kind of women that like nice things, I was like, you know what?
Well, don't get them too high maintenance now.
That is
Gotta
an
have a level
expensive
at that
habit.
thing.
That is an expensive habit.
Mike
That is,
can't
oh,
afford
it's
them, bruh.
Dallas. Oh, I let them know. I let them know up front. I am a musician. I work with the musician's budget. But some of the things they want to explore, I at the time I refused to let somebody feel like I just can't do it. Like nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I took the money, and it's just been on since then. Like just more opportunities have come. See, the good thing about everything that I've tried, from hosting to DJing to mentoring
Mm-hmm.
to building things to doing concerts to putting on concerts. It all stems from I grew up playing the drums, which means I grew up knowing how to practice. I
Yeah.
grew up knowing, yo, if I can just be bad at a thing for a little bit of a time. Like, I'm not gonna be bad at this for long. So if I just stay consistent, if I put in the work, thanks to YouTube University, if I just go get the knowledge
Right.
for free, that's out here for free, that bill that you paying every month,
Yeah.
then I'll be better than I was yesterday. And one day I might be so much better than I was yesterday that you might want to pay me for that. And that's just kind of been how I've been rocking
Yeah.
for years. Now I'm an administrative assistant at a church, and I do sound now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just you gotta pay me, okay? I make shirts now. You gotta pay me. You gotta look. I just do stuff. These my look. I
He
gotta
just
show
do
y'all my
stuff.
trophies. Look at all my these are all my just some of my concerts, but that's my heat press. I make shirts, baby. You got to pay me.
I love it, brother.
I'm
I
sitting
love it.
behind another one.
Man of multiple
Concerts.
talent. Talent.
Oh man, come on now, come on now. I'm a blessing and a half, baby. Come on
There
now,
you go. There you go. Speak on it.
come on now. I knew it. I knew it. I knew
Man,
it.
one last thing, brother. You talk about all that you have done and everything that you are doing now. Where's how deep is your passion with all that you do? No, sometimes
Um,
with the money situation, but that passion
mm,
to keep you
that's a
moving
good question.
forward.
That's a good question. You know what it is? I found, man, it's crazy to talk about this. I don't find a lot of passion in the things. I don't really find a lot of passion in the projects anymore. I find passion in um how can you say this? Like I said earlier, like I went through depression at a young age, thank God, because I was able to see what the low of low self-thinking could take somebody.
Yeah,
I was able to experience that young enough to know I don't want to go through it again. And so, um, even with alleviating the crumbs from that experience, I have learned that I don't have the passion in the things I do. I have passion in proving to myself that I am as amazing as I know myself to be.
yeah,
Whether that is in something that I know how to do that I'm already good at, or if it's in something that like I just want to try and explore. I look at it like I'm passionate about exploring more ways to get to know myself. I'm passionate about exploring more ways to be fruitful to others. Um, I think that we focus too much on the tools that God gives us to do those things. Like I said, at one point in time in my life, I thought the only tool I had was drums.
right.
Then I started venturing out into doing other things and having other things. And then I learned, okay, it's not about the tools at all. It's
Right,
not
right.
about it's not about the way it's not about what I use to be fruitful at all. It's about the choice I make to do everything I do with the intent of I hope this serves, I hope this
Yes,
gives,
yes.
I hope me being present. Um I call it the three E's, like enlighten, educates, and entertains. Um and because of that, I let that lead my passion. Honestly, because so much of it is about money, I don't get that passionate about what people see as creative as much anymore. I don't get as passionate about playing or DJing or being on the radio or whatever. I do get passionate about putting on my live concerts, but that's just because it's still such a big puzzle. It's still
Yeah,
so much I don't know, and God has just blessed those concerts to be good. Like
yeah.
he's just blessed them, to be a thing where people come to, and I've been able to pay out my bills.
Well,
But
you had a lot of steps. You going
yeah,
through, and now you at
yeah,
the show promotion and stuff like that. That's
yeah,
another level for you.
yeah,
So yeah, so that's
yeah.
another drive. But bro, I want to
Music.
appreciate you coming on the show, taking out your busy schedule
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's
to
all right.
talk
It's
to
all right.
me on
It's
Spit to
all
the
right.
Beat podcast. Look, I
Spit
want
to
you
the
to
beat, baby. Spit to the beat, baby.
hang around for a second, man. I got to do a little closing and record and make sure
All
it's
right.
recorded. All right,
All right.
hold on.
All right.
And thank you for joining Spit to the Beat podcast. I'm your host, Stacey, aka Beat Unstoppable Puryear. Again, you can catch all my latest episode at Spit to the Beat podcast at www.spittothebeat.com. Or you like to be a guest on my podcast if you are in the music industry, where you're a DJ, singer, songwriter, artist of such. Be my guest at spittothebeat.com or call me at 901 341 6777. And I want to thank Brother Cody Little for coming on for my first Spit to the Beat podcast show, virtual podcast show. And look, he laid it out. He's so much information. I know we're gonna do it again because he didn't even tell half of the story about himself. So we just scratched the surface of him, and I'm gonna get him back on again later on this year. But then again, thank you, Brother Cody. Just hold on for a second as I close this thing out.